Yeah. Hi, Zarin. Nice to meet you. Alia here. Zarin has been doing the carnivore diet since August 2022, and she's going to tell us a little about her journey and her story.
All right, where do you want me to start? Should I
Uh,
just start?
yeah, just start. How did you find out about it? How did you come to start eating this way?
Okay, so the funny thing is, I did not realize I had issues. I mean, I did instinctively. I'd get up in the morning and I was stiff and I was like, oh, I need to stretch more. Of course, you forget about stretching later on. Anyway, and one day my husband was like, so I've been looking into this carnivore thing. And I'm like, okay, never heard of it. Said, I'm going to start this. And I said, well, you're the cook. I guess I got to do it. But at the same time, it intrigued me. You know what I mean? I was
Okay.
like, okay, elimination, let's see what happens. So we started. And okay, so let me tell you a little background about the way I used to eat. I
Hmm.
was big on salads, big on vegetables. I never found a vegetable I didn't like. We're talking Brussels sprouts when I was a kid. It's horrible. I ate a lot of vegetables. And we'd go to a restaurant and I would get a salad instead of a burger or meat because I was like, meat is bad for me. Cholesterol, my heart's gonna go bad. All these things that I had heard, right?
Hmm.
I didn't mind meat. I just didn't eat a lot of it because of all the information I had on how bad it was for me. We mostly ate clean. We did go out here and there, actually a lot more than we should have. Um, so he says we're going to do this, and I was like, okay, that's going to be strange because we usually make salads with our steaks,
Hmm.
or you know. So we started, and I mean, long story short, a week later, I noticed my joint pain was gone. I was
Oh,
waking up
wow.
in the morning with no stiffness. I didn't ever have any flatulence. My stomach wasn't bloated. It wasn't
Wow.
gurgly like it was every day after eating.
Hmm.
Anyway, and um, I was sold. I was like, wow, pain gone. Let's keep doing this. In fact, I'm one of those strange creatures that won't even cheat. Like
Okay.
I, I see, I'll be in an environment where someone's like, yeah, I'm going to have a little bit of that. I'm like, not me. I just have no interest in doing that because I remember how I felt before,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's
totally.
basically how I got into it. And 10 months later, I'm still going strong. I mean, my steaks are sitting here ready to cook for dinner. And
Oh, that's
I've
awesome.
learned how to cook steaks in the air fryer. So I'm really good at it.
Nice.
Anyway, yeah.
That's awesome. Have you so so basically you were clean eating before. You never did like the standard American diet. Basically like the McDonald's and the pizza or anything like this.
Thank God, no.
Okay.
Not to say I never did, but we did have, if okay, for example, clean eating,
Yeah.
we'd have organic ice cream,
Oh,
or we'd
okay.
have organic this or organic that sugar crap, but not constantly.
Okay.
Okay. And I was 20 pounds heavier than I am now,
Oh,
which
wow. Okay.
didn't really, I didn't think I had to lose any weight.
Sure,
But
sure.
then when it all came off, I was like, wow, this is nice. Actually, I feel a lot better. So yeah, we would eat organic, crappy food, shall we say? But when we went out to eat, we generally get a dessert, or he get dessert, and I'd be like, I'll have a few bites of that and eat most of it. But
Sure.
that kind of stuff. So we did eat a little bit. At
Yeah.
night, we would snack on our organic dark chocolate covered almonds.
Actually sounds
So
great.
not, they're
But
great,
I can't eat those either.
but no, that has oxalates, etc. in it.
Right.
Um, so yes, I never, thank God, did the standard American diet,
Yeah.
but also didn't realize how much plants were hurting me with
Sure.
my inflammation of the joints, which I had been trying to handle for years. It wasn't as bad in Utah, by the way. I was in Utah for 12 years,
Yeah.
because I guess the altitude and the dryness. So just
Hmm.
whenever it would rain or snow, I'd have issues. But
Okay.
when I moved to Florida, it was almost a constant pain,
Oh,
probably
wow.
because of the humidity and the fact that it rains pretty much all the time.
Right.
Um, but the thing is, I kind of just got used to all this stuff. I got used to the bloating. I got used to the
Hmm.
gas. I got used to just I was never really low energy. I would have little lulls. My sleep would be full of lots of dreams and nightmares, but I
Right.
slept pretty well.
Okay.
I'm one of those strange creatures that only needs like 5.5 hours a night anyway. But now it's like solid. My sleep score went up on my little Fitbit.
Okay.
So it's definitely a lot healthier than I was before. Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes
So
you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen.
now I have to tell you a story.
Yeah.
2010,
Hmm.
and this might be a controversial subject.
Okay.
I decided to get a flu shot.
Okay.
A day later, or I should say, that day my arm was dead. The next day I had the flu. Went through that whole thing.
Hmm.
But every year until about 2018, so it was 8 years, I would get this illness every year.
Okay.
And it would consist of, sorry, my cat just jumped on me.
Oh, it's
You can
okay.
cut that part out. Frankie, we're not eating yet. All right. And then if I don't pay attention to her. Anyway, so I got that. And then I developed on my arm, and you can still see the little scar right here, a little thing. But it for 10, like since 2010 till probably literally 2 months ago. Okay. It was this hard round circle
Oh,
that
wow.
you could push on, you could feel. And I was like, okay, I should probably get it checked out. It's one of those things. She's going to do it again. It's one of those things where you know that you should go get it checked out and you never do. So 2 weeks into the carnivore, sorry, I'm thinking. That's why I do that.
Yeah. No
Started
problem.
to itch and itch and itch and itch. I'm like, that's
Oh,
weird. What's
wow.
going on? And I was like, okay, I should probably go get it checked out. Didn't go get it checked out. And then it started to scab. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. And then it would just do this off and on until about, what did I say, 2-3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And it's turned into a nothingness.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like it's
Oh, wow.
a nothingness now. And just a little scar. So I think that it gets rid of things, this carnivore. It like detoxes the body of things that shouldn't be.
Sure.
Because I know that in those shots, they have things like aluminum.
Right.
And that aluminum can build up in that one little spot. Again, understand, controversial,
Sure.
but whatever.
Yeah.
And it can build up in that little spot, and it can release toxins into your body later in life. And you can end up with autoimmune issues and whatnot.
Sure.
So that was kind of cool. Because I was like,
very cool.
Where did it go? So I still want to go get it checked out, but there's really literally just not much to check out anymore. So I'll probably never do it.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was another thing that happened that was fascinating to me.
That's crazy. I mean, I'll tell you one little funny story about me. So I had a C-section 5 years ago. My daughter just turned 5, so it was 5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And this thing has been itchy. The section, like the scar tissue's been itchy. It would be pussy, sorry, kind of gross. Sometimes there'd be a little bit of blood. This has been going on for 5 years. Last week or a week and a half ago, my husband's like, your scar tissue the scar is healed.
Wow.
And the only thing that changed, it's crazy. What? Like I never thought of even getting it checked out though. I never thought to like check it out.
I should get it. Yeah, I know.
You've got like a part of your body that hasn't healed in 5 years.
You would think, right?
Yeah.
You would think, yeah, ridiculous. But then it goes away and you're like, wait a second, this carnivore thing is way more involved than I thought. Right. And the funny thing is, we had a friend that for at least 2 years had been saying, hey guys, you shouldn't eat tomatoes because it's inflammatory. And we're like, what? Yeah, we're not going to stop eating tomatoes. That's like a staple of our diet. Or,
sure.
Hey guys, these are the nightshades. And we're like, whatever.
I'm going to eat those potatoes.
I'm going to eat everything. And it doesn't really matter as long as it's not like the standard American diet. Right. Which, that, to be honest, I mean, these were at places we go and have fried pickles.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't like we were 100% clean eating. Because it's funny, one day I realized, oh, so when we go out to eat, that's not organic. Duh. It's not usually organic,
Sure,
if you go to
sure.
like some place that just serves you food.
Right.
So, and we'd sometimes go out 3 times a week. Now we rarely go. If we do, it's Texas de Brazil or this other place called Renzo's. And there's this other great Argentinian place that serves just meat platters.
Oh, okay.
But we rarely go out because why? Our steaks are better than the steaks out there.
Yeah,
So
I
anyway,
understand.
yeah.
Well, it's funny because now twice you've answered a question before I even asked it.
Let me tell you another thing.
Yeah.
When we started, we were experimenting. We would do shrimp with butter. We'd do scallops with butter. We'd do these, we'd take these chickens and, oh, it was delicious. Parmesan encrusted. We'd use
Yeah.
egg batter. I don't know if that's the right word, to get the Parmesan on there and all
Sure.
that stuff. But as we progressed along, we found our bodies craved steak, beef, more beef. So now we're pretty much down, and it's really simple because it always tastes delicious. We crave nothing else. It's the strangest thing.
Yeah.
So now we pretty much just eat steak. I do eggs because I realize I do need eggs in my diet. Some people can't do it.
Sure.
Some people can. I mean, it really just depends on the person. So I do have some fried eggs in the afternoon sometimes, but most of the times I have a big old steak at dinner. Can't
Yeah.
even eat it all. And so then at lunch the next day, which is usually around 12, 1, 2, depending on when I can get to it, it's the
Sure.
remainder of the steak from the night before. And then back to my steak at night. And it's funny because people will be like, but that's so redundant. And I'm like, you know what? I am now eating to live. You know what I mean? I'm not
Yeah.
living to eat. I
Right.
don't need these pleasures anymore,
Mhm.
especially at my age. I'm like, I want to stick around for a little while. So
Yeah.
if I feel great, if my energy is this way, if my sleep is this way, if things are going way better, there's things that iron out. Sometimes you'll get a little imbalance of something and you're like, okay, maybe let me find out what I need to take here, what I need to take there. It's usually just like magnesium, electrolytes, not enough water because I tend to not be as thirsty as I used to be.
Oh,
So I have
wow.
to make sure I'm drinking enough water.
Sure.
But other than that, it's not like it was before where you're just like, okay, I have this pain. Now let's put this thing on it, And if my back does go out
Yeah.
or something goes, there's not all this inflammation there
Okay.
to create a ton of pain. So it's just like, okay, my back is out. Let me figure out getting this back in.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a different universe.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go back. I just want to keep, eating to keep the body going. So
Yeah. Oh, I totally understand. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that people come to these like conclusions or realizations as they start eating this way. Because I understand. I feel like I understand everything you're saying. I duplicate it completely.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. So,
Yeah.
not that I'm interviewing your husband, but has he had any like changes? Has he had any
Oh yeah.
amazing things?
Similar.
Similar?
Pain going away. Sleep is fantastic. Stop snoring. No gas. The works.
Yeah.
So he's sold on it. Except for he'll sometimes be like, okay, we're in New York. I'm gonna have this. I'm like, you do that. I'm not gonna have it. Let me just have my burger patty with some cheese on it.
Nice.
I'm
Nice.
not eating right now. Yeah. So, but definitely very similar. And he's the same way. He's like, this is it. You know what I mean? It's once you find that thing. And the thing about it is it's so dang simple. You go to the grocery store, you grab your meat, your water, cheese. We do cheese.
Okay.
I said do. So we do get cheese, but it's like usually this Asiago stuff from Whole Foods or whatever.
Nice.
So occasionally we'll eat that. We'll get this baby Swiss for the burgers. And it we don't eat a lot. So that goes into the diet here and there.
Okay.
It's pretty cool.
Cool.
Because that cheese tastes like chocolate. No. But no, I mean, it's healthy cheese.
Yeah.
It's not processed and all that kind of stuff.
So yeah, exactly. There's nothing wrong with it. Do you drink coffee?
Okay. So that's the one thing we're
controversy.
trying to get rid of now. So I have done like only with heavy cream.
Yeah.
Nothing else. So no sweetener, no nothing else. I did a whole 2-week trial of just drinking it on the weekend, and it went great. I didn't have the withdrawals, but then I'm like, it's just my happy thing for the day. So we're trying to work out getting rid of that.
Right.
But I'm really not stressed over it. I'm just like,
Okay.
oh, we will. And but he only does it twice a week, but he's deciding here shortly that he's like, I'm just going to cut it all out. Because it's like, again, it's not like we really need it. It's just our little hard to explain coffee.
It's so hard to explain
So,
coffee.
yeah, it's just a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing. I live in the capital of the coffee region of Colombia.
You do.
I have neighbors that I buy coffee from. I drink black coffee. It's way better than any coffee I've experienced in the US.
I can freaking imagine.
Yeah, so
I know. And I work for an Italian, and she has this espresso maker, and I'm like, it's there. So but I did it. I've done it. I went 2 weeks, and I was just like, but it's my thing. So yeah,
I understand.
it's
How
good
did you
stuff. So we'll see.
Oh, yeah, we'll see. How did you feel in that 2 weeks? Did you feel better or worse? Nothing? Like,
It didn't seem like there was a huge change. The thing that I noticed is when I started drinking again, that's when the muscle spasms came in and the Charlie horses. And I'm like, I'll bet you it was draining me without really realizing it was draining me. And then when I start doing it again, then you see the drain. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So then it was like more electrolytes, more water, compensating for this thing when I really shouldn't.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, it's my one thing. It's my little one happiness.
I understand.
So not that it's happiness.
No, I get it.
There's a pleasure to it.
Sure.
Just being with your friends, especially on the weekends. So that's the other reason I can kind of cut down on the weekdays. But then again, all my friends are carnivores. So
oh, wow. Like, nice.
What do we do if we're not going to be drinking coffee? And nobody knows. So we just kind of keep going back.
Sure.
Have our coffee on Saturdays and Sundays. So it's a bit of an issue. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, what are we gonna sit there and drink water? Anyway,
sparkling water.
We're sorting that out. Sparkling water. Yeah. And there's some good sparkling water.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we'll get there.
Yeah, I'm not there yet. Yeah. I've given up so many things, and I'm happy I did, but I'm like, no, not the coffee. Not just the coffee.
I know. I know. It's crazy because Chafee's like, give it up. And we're like, we're working on it.
I just watched a video today from Dr. Sean Baker, and he says drink the coffee or don't drink the coffee. He recommended like month 4, don't drink the coffee and see how you feel. It either makes you feel better or doesn't do anything. So he's the guy. He's the what is it? The godfather of the carnivore diet, the inventor of the carnivore diet.
That's correct. That's correct.
Watch his video. He's not biased.
Yeah, though. I will.
Yeah, he's not biased.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
And as long as I'm not putting like 6 things of sugar in it, it's literally, this is my excuses.
Yeah.
It's literally heavy cream, which I don't know. So there you go. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So that's the one thing.
Nice. And since you've been on the carnivore diet, have you helped anybody else like turn to this lifestyle?
Yeah. So people think I'm nuts.
Okay.
Because I can't stop talking about it.
I know what you mean.
So like one day I was at a baby shower, and this was maybe 4 months in, and I was just yapping up a storm about it to a friend of mine who was mostly vegan.
Okay.
Or vegetarian or whatever all those things are. I never got into those diets.
Okay.
And she is from California. And she's just nodding and listening, and and I'm just like, inflammation gone, this, that, the other, talking about Michaela Peterson's thing with her autoimmune.
Yeah.
And this girl had big issues maybe 3 years earlier.
Okay.
And still was in a lot of pain from like her autoimmune stuff. So I was just blah, 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 blah. And I spent the whole baby shower just talking to her about this thing. Yeah. And of course, my other friend who keeps hearing me talk about it is like, it's the carnivore queen. Anyway, so she went home that day, and she's like, I hadn't heard from her in months. And then my husband was up at this function, and she happened to be there, full on carnivore. And I was like, what? So when he tells me, I text her, I'm like, what the heck? What happened? And she, what made you start this? And she said, you did. And I'm like, what the heck? Anyway, all her pain was gone. She was loving it. She would, she was one of those that are like, well, I gotta have my one chocolate covered almond every week. And I'm like, don't do it. But I mean, again, with her as well, she started getting the muscle definition was showing. She's out of
Yeah.
pain. She, noticed things. She's very food sensitive and didn't realize it. But, she would go somewhere for another convention or something and they'd serve her steak, but it might have been cooked in some vegetable oil. And the next thing she knows, she's like, oh my gosh, why am I seasoning? Oh no,
Yeah.
So, but she was just like, holy moly,
Holy moly.
this was it. And I always thought it was vegetables, and all the other supplements and everything that people take. So
Sure.
and then another girl I got on it was not a meat eater. In fact, had been a vegetarian for 4 years. And she was like, whatever, but listening to me because I work with her. So she listened to me all the time. So one day on January 1st, she's like, okay, I'm starting. She's like, I'm going to go full month and then I'm going to have my cheat meal. And she went the full month.
Yeah.
And then like February 1st rolls along. She looked great. 3 or 4 days in, I was like, where's your bloat? Because she would always have this little pouch kind of thing.
Yeah.
And her face was bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that all disappeared and she was loving it. She was, asking me questions about what to eat. I was showing her the videos and she wouldn't prime. I kept saying prime, and she wouldn't. But whatever. She did get through her little issues of not enough salt and all that. And then she went the whole month, got to February 1st, and she was like, I don't feel like cheating today. And then she got the second, no, I'm okay. And then the third, she's like, okay, fine, I'm going to try the truffle fries. She said they were disgusting.
Oh, wow.
And she felt like crap the next day, even like minutes or hours afterwards. She was like, oh gosh, what was I thinking? So she like completely loves it. Of course, she totally fell off the wagon when her mother came to town. So she's like, I need to get back to it. I need to get back to it. But the second she came off of it, I noticed. I was like, are you? She goes, I know. And I said, you know how I know? And she's, how? And I said, your face, it's big again. And I notice this in people now. I see the inflammation.
Oh, wow.
The wildest thing. And her little tummy pouch had kind of come back. She's not fat by any means, but you could see with her, you could just see the bloat go down. And she did lose weight.
Yeah.
She was kind of like me, didn't realize there was much to lose kind of thing. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, there's been quite a few. Like I'll suddenly find out someone finally started and they're like, I don't know. It's been fun. And also with our group of friends, just talking to people, all of a sudden so people have been like, oh, wait a second, maybe there's something to look at. And then of course you have those that are like, that can't be healthy. There's no way. But then you look at what they're eating.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do? And you also look at how they're sitting there in all this pain and they're in a little wheeler or whatever. And it's just like, how do I even get through to you? Yeah. But again, I understand that mindset because I had all this false information about food and I bought into all of it.
Right.
Meat was bad for me. So I would rather not have a hamburger or, of course, a hamburger is bad for you if you're having all the other crap with it.
Sure.
And when I would get a burger, though, in my defense, I would cut out the, the fries. Like, what are they called again? Because I rarely ever got them. Anyway, I would cut out the fries or I would never drink the sodas. I was not a soda drinker. Never had been. Thank gosh. But yeah. And it was funny because we also used to drink alcohol when we go out to eat.
Okay.
Occasionally we'd even have it at home.
Okay.
Now there's literally no interest.
That's like, awesome.
Maybe when we go out to eat occasionally.
Yeah.
But once every 2 months. I think I've had maybe 3 drinks since I started this. And only one did I regret, and that was the champagne. That made me feel the worst. Oh, and the old fashioned. So 2 of them.
Okay.
So anyway, my point is it makes all these weird cravings go away.
Yeah.
For me at least. That's what
for sure. Every single person I've talked to on the carnivore diet, who's been on it for some time, they have no more cravings. Yeah. The thing they want to eat is mainly beef. Beef, butter,
I know,
bacon,
it's fascinating
eggs.
to me.
Yeah.
And it's so fascinating that when I see people, I talk about it. And you want to know what brings it up?
What?
is that person going, oh my gosh, you look fantastic. You're
Mm.
aging backwards. What are you doing? Look at all that weight you've lost, which I didn't even know I had. And then I'm like, carnivore. And I've even gotten people to start that way because they're like,
Oh,
what is this
wow.
carnivore? And then they look into it, and the word is starting to spread. My mail
Right.
lady today, and she couldn't remember who the girl was, but I was
Yeah.
telling her about carnivore. But another girl came in today who was thin and looked younger, and she's like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? And she's, I'm on carnivore. So I don't
Oh,
even know if I
wow.
know that person,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of people here,
Sure.
but I wouldn't be surprised. But who knows? I mean, this word is
Right.
kind of spreading. I was like,
Sure.
if you find out the name, let me know. Maybe I know her, but if I don't, it's even better because then more people are hearing about it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely. You should start a
So,
YouTube channel. That's my 2 cents.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
You're
Maybe get
so
the
you
word further out.
yeah, and you have great stories and great successes.
Thank you. Yes, it's so, yeah. And I've even had other people start, they're just like, you're one of my people that, I trust and I believe, and I can do it. And so they'll do it. And I'm like, whoa, like an opinion leader, shall we say.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
pretty fun. And I do give all the credit to my husband for this
Okay.
because he is the one that said, we're going to do this. And I was like, okay, whatever, cook. And then I was like, oh my gosh, wait a second, this is something. So
Yeah, it's
yeah,
so crazy.
the thing is, trying to get through to people is sometimes frustrating
Right.
because of the false information,
Mm-hmm.
because of that information that they've been like pounded into them
Right.
for decades.
Sure. Sure.
Anyway, but yes, I like
Sure.
to get as many people on as possible.
That's awesome. Yeah, TikTok, YouTube, I think you're like you have a great ability
Oh
to
yeah.
communicate. Yeah. This has been a fun interview so far. We'll
Yeah,
keep going.
exactly. Let me tell you something. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
Anyway, yeah. So I mean that's, oh, go ahead. You have a question.
I forgot what I was going to say. So continue, and then hopefully I remember.
No, I mean
Oh,
that's basically it. Oh, here's another fun story. My
okay.
cat is carnivore too. Like
I was
we
going to
get
ask.
her this Blue Ridge kitten mix,
Yeah.
and it's full animal. It's bone, organ, muscle meat, the works, and she's thriving.
Oh, that's great.
She loves it. And the thing about this stuff is, I Googled it because I'm like, won't you get bored of this? But apparently, if the food has everything they need, which it does because they're obligate carnivore,
Mm-hmm.
she'll apparently never get bored of it.
Right.
And like her fur is just beautiful. And uh, anyway, I feel bad about what I used to feed my other cats in Utah.
Oh
Like,
no.
wait a second. They still did fine,
Sure.
but there's just something not as shiny about their coats. There's
Mm-hmm.
something not as lively in their gait. I mean, she's almost a year old, so she's not that old. But
Okay.
I'm interested to see how, her lifespan and
Sure.
what might happen there.
Sure.
But yeah, so our whole family is carnivore. No,
Including the fur baby. I mean,
including
it's
the fur
funny.
baby.
It's funny that you say that because I mean, do you ever get sick of steak? I never get sick of steak.
No,
I never get sick of
no.
steak.
And that's also what makes me go, oh, she'll be fine. She
Yeah.
won't get sick of it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we would do ribeye,
Okay.
lots of ribeye, because it's really not ribeye, chuck eye steaks, which is
Okay.
kind of, I don't understand the whole anatomy, but
Sure.
it's in between the rib eye and something else. Anyway, but really fatty, really good, and less expensive than ribeye. We'd
Okay.
also do ribeye. And now we started a new one, flat iron,
What is it
which
called?
has like, it's called flat iron steak,
Flat
and it
iron.
has
Okay.
lots of little itsy bits of things. It's cheaper than a chuck eye, cheaper than a prime rib. We're going to try that.
Okay.
But yeah, we just mess around with it and find great steak, and it's delicious, and I never get sick of it.
Nice.
I can't wait to be able to grill once we
Hmm.
do get a house and move out of the condo.
Sure.
But you know, we do what we do to survive. I mean,
Right.
Michaela Peterson literally takes things of meat with her on planes and
I
travels
know.
with it.
Oh, I didn't
She
know
is
that.
admittedly very, very food sensitive.
Right.
She had autoimmune diseases up the yin. But yeah, I mean, if I had to, I would do that for
Sure.
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 But yeah, that's how she travels with all her stuff and her meat in her
It's so
suitcase.
that I didn't know about the meat. I knew about the air fryer. I remember hearing that
Yeah,
on one of her podcasts about the air fryer. I did not
yeah,
know about the meat. And that's
yeah.
also crazy. Like, you and I probably never had this experience of being on psychiatric medications, but
No,
people are coming off of these
I
medications,
know. Have you
like
seen the
not
Homestead guy?
depressed. Which one?
The Homestead guy. He
Oh
literally took
yeah.
his whole thing
I know, it's
of these
crazy.
drugs, and I'm like, oh my gosh, these poor people.
I
When
know.
it's as simple as diet. I'm
I
sorry,
it's
but
it's nuts.
I never
It's
knew that
nuts.
either.
I never knew that at all, but I'm
You
so
know,
happy. I hear these
and now
stories
I'm
and
just
I
like,
like,
holy crap. I
yeah,
know,
I just want to
100%.
cry.
I know.
Dr. Chapey interviewed this guy. His
Mhm,
name is like Jazz St. Louis or something. He's like a dancer in Canada, and he was literally like
mhm.
writing a suicide note, and then he like smelled a chicken or something, and he'd been vegan for like 20 years. And he was
No.
writing it to his family or his kids, some crazy story, and he went and ate the chicken, and all of a sudden now he's not depressed. He's not on. I think he was on meds. He's not on meds anymore.
Of course, he's carnivore by now. Oh
Now
my
he's
gosh, that's
carnivore, fully
so
carnivore.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these stories are incredible, but I'm trying to find some people who want to talk to me about getting off of their meds because look, there's like a solution for these
Yeah. I don't
people.
know any of those people.
I don't know. I'm finding them on YouTube. I don't know them either. In Colombia,
Yeah, yeah.
there's not people. Well, not many people speak English, but in addition,
Yeah, yeah.
psychiatric medication is not a big thing here, like in the U.S. Yeah,
Good.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And that is a very big difference between those our two countries. I mean, my country is the U.S., but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The country that I'm in now.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So if you were to, how would you recommend somebody starts in this lifestyle? I don't want to call it a diet, and this
So
way of
I
eating.
don't. I don't. I call it a way of eating.
Yeah,
First and foremost, get on the rabbit hole of research. It's literally
yeah,
a mind bending thing because it is the opposite of everything that one has been taught, you know.
right.
But yeah, research Chafee, Barry, even the Homestead guy,
Yeah,
see all the different things that have been coming about because of this. I hear priming's a thing,
I
like
don't know what
eat a
that
ton
is.
of it in the beginning. That means you're like eating a ton of meat in the beginning to like
Mm.
just eat until you're stuffed kind of thing.
Oh, okay, okay.
We didn't do that, although I will tell you that we started with fruit for the first few weeks and I still had these results.
Oh,
So
wow.
we were following another guy that still did fruit and honey and all that. So we'd have
Paul
pineapple here and
Saladino.
there. Yes.
Okay.
So we stopped the fruits because we don't need the sugar. Your body doesn't need that sugar.
Right.
But so I guess we kind of primed. I never did get the keto flu, I think they call it.
Okay.
I have gotten a teeny tiny bit of that in times when I've accidentally had vegetable oils or
Okay.
was at a restaurant and scraped as much of the sauce off as I could,
Right.
but it wasn't all of it. I have gotten a little bit like fluey feels the next day.
Mm-hmm.
But in the beginning, there didn't seem to be much of that. But I also think it's because we weren't on the standard American diet
Okay.
as much as other people are.
Sure.
But I suggest research. I mean, I have a whole playlist I send to people
Oh,
that
wow.
our friends and I put together, or my
Nice.
friends and I put together. So I just send people that so make it. And then once you're into it, because you're going to love it, and
Yeah.
it's going to friggin' rock your world. At that point is when you make your playlist, send it out to people.
Yeah, exactly. Make
Spread the
your
word.
own playlist, Zarin. I will be your first subscriber.
Yeah. Make your own videos. I could do that. I was
Yeah,
talking about research.
totally.
That's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, make your own videos, put them on YouTube. TikTok. I can't do TikTok. It's geolocation, but you're in the US. So there you
No
go.
way. Can't you
Yeah.
get a VPN?
They won't. TikTok doesn't
For
like
real?
that. Yeah.
Wow. I'm totally. Yeah, it's overrated anyway. So
Yeah, exactly. So do the
Oh,
research. Do the research. Great.
yes, do the research, understand fully what you're getting into. realized that the beginning can be difficult,
Yeah.
like the detoxing is what I call it,
Yeah.
because you're getting rid of all of these toxins that your body has been ingesting for decades,
Right.
and it sometimes doesn't feel very good, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go.
Nice. So,
Research, understand everything, know all the
yeah.
pitfalls, don't fall into
Right.
the pitfalls. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, because once you get over that period, it's like a whole new world. It's a whole new,
Yeah,
yeah, a world of
yeah.
physical well-being.
I mean, suddenly you wake up and you're like, wait a second, I'm supposed to be in pain and I'm not. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Oh, wait a
Yeah,
second. I just slept 8 hours. Wait a second. It's
yeah,
5 a.m. and I'm like ready to go.
I know. I even had floaters that disappeared in my eyes. I
Oh,
realized that the other day
wow.
when I went for a retina check.
Wow.
Um, so yeah, like just there's always something. Like with sunburns, by the way,
Hmm.
um, I'll sunburn, but it's not as intense as it used to be.
Okay.
It doesn't hurt like it used to.
Okay.
The peeling is very minimal. I think it's because of seed oils.
Mm,
Because when you're
maybe.
eating those seed oils, um, and other such things that are not great for your body, it's going to be on your skin. So you're going to go in the
Mm-hmm.
sun, and if you forget your sunscreen, which is not that great for you anyway,
Yeah,
you could have big issues. But I
sure.
used to sunburn pretty bad to the point of lots of pain and whatnot. And I realized, oh, it's not as bad as it used to be. It basically turns brown for the most part,
Sure.
which I thought was just me. But if you look it up, it's a thing.
I've
So
heard it. I mean, I got
yeah,
sunburned
and
today. You
further in.
can't tell. I put some makeup on, but
Yeah.
it's red, but it doesn't hurt. It's red, but it
Yeah.
does. Yeah.
Yeah. And you'll see that it might get a little bit peely and dry, but it's
Yeah.
nothing like the olden days.
The olden days.
So
I have
the
a funny
olden
question.
days.
The
Yeah.
olden after prior to a year ago or
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
Do you okay, this is really funny. Do you wear deodorant?
I do.
Oh, okay.
I haven't tried quitting yet.
Oh,
Do
okay.
you?
Um, I might put it on if I'm going outside because it's very hot here,
Yeah.
but one
Yeah.
day I was like, oh wow, I smell great. And I forgot to put my deodorant on. But
Oh, no
before,
kidding. I
yeah,
should
and
try it.
you should try it because I basically don't wear a lot of deodorant. I almost don't wear any deodorant now. And it's
Oh,
hot
wow.
and humid here and
I've
only
heard of
be
that and I haven't tried it because I am in Florida.
oh yeah, exactly. It's a little
So
hotter
yeah.
there. But no,
Yeah.
that's pretty crazy. I used to be a smoker and I stank to high heaven if I
Oh yeah.
forgot to wear my deodorant.
Oh yeah. It's the worst when I used to smoke. Mm-hmm. No.
Uh, so I'm
Well,
always
good. I'll
asking
have to
that
try that.
question because it's so curious to me.
I'll have to try that. I
Yeah,
haven't tried it, but I have heard of it. I
yeah,
just haven't dared try it because I
sure.
am running around a ton during the day.
Okay, yeah, I
But
understand.
yeah,
Just maybe try it
see.
one day, but bring your deodorant with you.
Actually, I have some in the car,
Oh, there you
so I
go.
should try that.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I've never had to reapply, by the way.
Oh, okay.
So that that's one thing.
Yeah, that's one thing. There
You
you
know what I
go.
mean? Because I
Yeah.
used to have to.
Oh, okay. Like
So
throughout the day?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So that's
So
a
that is
change.
I just automatically had it in there, and then I'm like, whoa, it's back here. I forgot about that.
Oh, nice.
So
Okay, I have one
yeah.
last question because growing up, I had very terrible, debilitating periods. Did you notice any changes in your menstrual cycle?
Um, yes,
Okay.
less painful, but not because I've never really had debilitate. It's been a weird 4 years.
Okay.
Um, because I think there were some external things that made things different
Okay.
and kind of really, really painful. But once I started this, um, trying to think, yeah, I mean, the cramps did get less and less to
Okay.
where they're almost nil now.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I used to sit there with the little heating thing. So yeah, they're much better. It was a monthly thing. I remember a monthly thing. I used to have my little heat thing that I bring out and
Yeah.
just like so yeah, I think that did get better.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. I
It was
want to
never a big a big ruining thing for me, but
Okay.
yeah.
I definitely had that. So growing up, it changed after I had kids, but it was still like what you're talking about, like annoying, but and with
Yeah.
cramps. But growing up, it was terrible. And then my first cycle after I started, I was like, what the F is going on here? Like no pain.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Like, and relief. I felt relief the first time in my life. I think, I mean, without being on medication, like
Yeah,
painkillers
yeah,
or the
yeah.
pill or something like that. Like,
Yeah,
oh, is this what your body's supposed to do?
exactly. Okay, now I do remember in the beginning, I noticed that the first month or two in, I was like, wait a second, where are the cramps?
Yeah.
Now I really got to use my app to figure it out. Now, it doesn't mean I don't still get like, "Ah," you know,
Okay. Yeah.
but the pain, yeah, okay. So yeah, I have
Okay.
noticed a change there. There's
Okay.
been so many that
Right.
you lose track, and then the cool thing is you get into this new normal. Like
Right.
your my normal before was this pain, that pain,
Mm-hmm.
the gas, the bloating, the this is the that. Another thing is the bowel movements
Yeah.
were like 4 or 5 times a day. Now it's like maybe once every other day.
Right. Right. Awesome.
It's freeing. And I
Yeah,
thought that was
absolutely.
normal,
Right.
because I was
Right.
told three or more times, 3 times a day is the healthy thing.
Make sure it doesn't
No,
stay in your system.
it's 100%. And it's not fermented. It's just,
Yeah.
I know this is TMI. We are talking
It's
doo
okay.
doo,
We're
but,
yeah, totally.
it's incredible that it's just one done 3 days later, whatever. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
so freeing.
Yeah.
So there's that.
There's so much time saved. You're not thinking about pooping. You're not thinking about food. You're not thinking about the next meal. You're not spending an hour
Exactly.
cooking.
It's true. And that is just really simple, especially with the air fryers. It's like boop, 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 boop,
Oh
boop.
wow.
All right, here's your food.
I'm
Yeah, we
gonna
used to do
That's
it.
awesome.
Yeah, no, they're great. We used to do it on the oh my gosh, now the word escapes me. The big heavy pans. Anyway,
Cast iron?
and thank you.
Yeah.
And now and that's great, except for really messy. Everything was always all over the place here.
Mm-hmm.
And then we heard about the air fryer. We had some issues with, it's got this coating in it, but apparently if it doesn't make it to a certain temperature, then you're okay.
Oh, okay.
So we decided to try it, and then that in itself, I mean, just cooking a steak at night really wasn't a big deal, but now it's
Yeah.
even less of a big deal.
Right.
So,
Oh,
and
it's
cast iron
awesome.
is not fun to clean. So anyway,
Right. Yeah. Oh no, it's terrible. It's the worst to clean.
I know.
I
Yeah.
guess here's my last question. Curious if you noticed a change in how much money you were spending on food before compared to now. Is it different? Is it the same? I haven't tracked mine, so I'm just curious.
I have not really tracked it, but I can
Okay.
tell you that anytime we went to specific restaurants, it was at least $200. So,
Okay.
not always,
Mm-hmm.
like 150, depending also on if we got drinks or what have you.
Sure.
So, okay, so I can say every time. That's how bad I am with money. So maybe 160, 150, depending on what restaurant we went to. Sometimes it'll be less, it could be 50,
Okay.
whatever, right? But it was
Sure.
usually a lot of money, and sometimes it was 3 times a week. We don't do that anymore.
Oh, okay.
So now it's just like a steak, and let's say it's $10 a pound or whatever.
Yeah.
It's still a lot less. You can go get a steak for $50 at a place, and then it's $100 for that whole meal.
Sure. I just
So
did some.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's like $1,200 a month minimally that you're saving on food. Maybe
Exactly.
maybe more.
Yeah, maybe more. So, and then we also have it really easy. We can just walk downstairs and go to these places.
Okay.
The restaurants right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was another thing. Sometimes it'd be like Saturday or Sunday. We're like, oh, I don't feel like cooking. So we go down there and there's another $50, $60, $70 or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and that's one meal.
Yeah.
Whereas we can go and buy the steaks, all the water we need, etc., for $80 or whatever.
Ridiculous.
So yeah, there's money savings.
There's money saved there for
Yeah,
sure.
people, like we had another person who wasn't starting for the longest time. Her husband was kind of off and on carnivore because he would also come out to eat with us and sometimes just yeah, so she wasn't starting, and she had this, like, oh, I have all these kids, I don't know how I could do it. Anyway, we started, and then other people were starting. She's like, okay, I'm gonna try this. And then she found out she saved more money by getting the meat. You know what I mean? Because she was worried she would be spending more money because she has 5 kids and all that.
Right.
So anyway, so there's that.
Oh,
it
wow.
is
And
because you start going out less. You
right.
You're not even that you're forced to, you just don't want to,
Right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This lady with the 5 kids, are her kids on carnivore then?
No. So
okay.
They've been off and on the whole time.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, so that's been a little more difficult to try to get the kids on it.
Yeah, I understand
and then
that.
one will start and then they'll get off of it, and then they're also older. Some of them are older.
Okay.
So then they're out of the house and they do what they want. So
sure.
And she never obviously forced anybody onto anything, but some of them did try it and saw what they saw, and hopefully they all realize it later that they should be on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I hope so. Okay, cool. Well, do you have anything else you would like to say?
We got to spread the word. It's life-changing for a lot of people. Like, I haven't heard of one person who hasn't won with this. I have heard of people who have this issue and that issue, and oh my gosh, and then they fall off the wagon because someone else tells them something else, and I'm like, oh my gosh, just stick to it. But it's the easiest. It's so simple that it makes sense, because things in life are actually simple, and we tend to throw a lot of complication into everything, hence the world right now. But I just think that everybody needs to look. That's the difficult part. Get people to look, and then just keep telling them and keep telling them and keep telling them until they realize it, which sometimes gets annoying to them, but it does work, because I've had a few people then start,
Great.
So there you go. Just spread the word far and wide. Tell people. And for those that don't want to listen and just totally can't have it, fine. What are you going to do?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Go.
All right. Well, thank you super so much for your time. I loved your stories. Yeah. Hi, Zarin. Nice to meet you.